Lima ang daliri ng aking kamay. Si ate, si kuya, si tatay, si nanay, at sino.
International travel has increased greatly since the 1960s. Last year, the Filipino government suggested that 5 million people travel to the Philippines to visit hotspots including Boracay, Palawan and Cebu. However, tourism has a darker side.
It is estimated that 40% of foreign visitors coming to the Philippines are sexual exploiters. They can be professionals or ordinary men traveling. But when they are offered, they tend to accept the offer for experience.
25-year-old Hannah is a commercial sex worker. The Third World movement against the exploitation of women took us to meet her during one of their outreach programs in a bar in downtown Manila.
How long have you been working at this bar?
2007, I've been work 6 months and then I get pregnant, stopped for 1 year. When my son, 3 months old, I started again.
And how much money can you make at working here?
I have salary 150 pesos a day.
150 pesos for dancing in the bar?
Yeah. And then I got bar fine sometimes 2 times. And 1 bar fine is sometimes the guy gave to me 3,000 for a short time, sometimes 6,000.
And how many customers do you have in one day?
One day, in 1 month, I think I have 3 or 2.
And they're mostly Japanese?
Korean and white guy.
White guys? Which ones do you like the best?
From USA.
Yeah. Why?
Because they can understand the face of the Filipina, how you look. If you are sad, it's okay to them that talk only like that. They can respect the girl. I need money always because my son he want milk. Because the problem in Manila, hard to get job. Even if have agency, hard to get the job.
Boracay is a small island composed of only 3 villages. Last year, there were 500,000 foreign visitors.
And the real impact of such tourism is exploitation of children. Behind the trade is an organized group of people connected with each other, recruiting children and transferring the children or trafficking children from one place to another to work in prostitution.
Estimates put 60 to 100,000 children working in prostitution. Their average age is 15.
2 girls came to ECPAT. They were from Boracay. They were prostituting themselves in Boracay. They went to Manila. Actually, they escaped Boracay, went to Manila, and seek the help of ECPAT. We provided support for 2 years. We were convincing them to file a case against the exploiter who happened to be a foreigner living in Boracay. So we were able to investigate a bit of the case and were able to find 11 other girls who were victimized by the same man. The 11 girls were convinced by the local social welfare officers to file a complaint that was lodged in the regional trial court in the province. All the cases were dismissed.
Why?
We don't exactly know the reason for the dismissal, but I would think that it has something to do with
bribery.
Payments.
As well as corruption, another problem is denial in the local community. People turn a blind eye or refuse to acknowledge that children are being exploited. In some cases, children are working in secret. In others, parents are acting as pimps. Since the introduction of the Anti-Trafficking Persons Act in 2003, there have been only a handful of prosecutions of sex traffickers. Whilst it's clearly going on a large scale, because it is so hidden, organisations have difficulty in tackling it directly. However, we found several initiatives dealing with the impact of abuse and exploitation. The The Nazareth shelter gives refuge to girls who have been abused. We met 21-year-old Marianne, who came to the shelter in 2003.
Di ko po kasi alam kasi probinsya po talaga sa amin. Sobrang probinsya talaga.
When she was 7 years old, her cousin raped her, and she feels like it's her fault because she didn't tell anyone about it, and the cousin was older, so she felt scared.
Did it happen just the once or was it for several years?
Nangyari ba siya isang beses lang o madaming taon siya nangyari?
Marami pong taon.
So, from
Hanggang 7 to 17 years old.
10 years. And now, do you have family now?
She was able to tell her mom because she has a younger sister who's 6 years old, and the cousin is a drug addict, so he's on to the younger sister now. Like he pokes the younger sister with a stick, like at night, and she said that's what happened to her as well, like in the beginning.
What's stopping her from going to the police?
Parang sinasarili ko lang problema ko. Wala makakaalam ganun.
So she said that it's not in the provinces. It's not like here in Manila where there's sex education. So she didn't even know that what was happening was wrong.
Victims of abuse not only need an environment of safety and physical care, often they need psychological help. In the worst cases, victims may themselves go on to repeat the cycle. Baby Leanne is a typical example of the product of sex tourism. Her mother is a disabled 26-year-old prostitute who grew up in Villani's Disability Centre. Her father is a Canadian. He has no contact with either of them. Since Leanne was born, her mother has taken her to live on the streets twice. She is now back at Villani. Is she going to stay here, Leanne, permanently?
No. We're planning to process Leanne's paper for declaration of abandonment.
What will happen to Leanne if she's declared abandoned? Will she be put up for adoption?
Yeah.
The Philippines is very beautiful. The Philippines has so many things to offer. But in as much as children are already being offered, I hope that you will not accept the offer when you come to the country.
The examples we saw highlight the complex nature of abuse, exploitation and abandonment. It's clear a composite menu of programs is needed. These include basic welfare and psychological support in the short term, and education, awareness raising, legal support and advocacy for long-term change.
You go to school? You're going to school? School? Yeah.